Hello, this is Armchair General. Welcome back to another episode of my Oda Let's Play on Legendary Difficulty. So this is kind of like our first big pitched battle of the game. It's in the field too, and I'm also an attacker, which isn't ideal. Especially not ideal because they out-skirmish me by quite a bit. They have these 5 bows here, and then one that's coming in reinforced, which I should be able to just run down with my light cav. I outnumber them though with my Oda Yari Ashigaro. So number one, these are better. They have better base stats than these, slightly better. I also have a little bit of veterancy here, and I outnumber them. So that alone should give me a big advantage. I'm going to have to be really aggressive because I don't want to take many losses from their bows here. But this should be kind of an interesting, more traditional battle. Alright, what we want is fog. That would be ideal. But no such luck. And let's skip the generals. Okay, so they do have these couple of hills to use. They could try to go for this hill and or use this one to their advantage. This one they're not going to get much use out of because the AI is not going to really line up on it in a useful way. But they might have a unit or two up there, in which case we're not going to charge them from that side, even if I have units on that flank. Instead, we're going to let them come downhill and charge into me. I'm going to want to drop Spear Wall, like pop that off as soon as I can. Well, as I'm charging towards their line, then I pop it right before I hit. And it's kind of a very close dance that I have to do on when exactly the timing is on that. Because if I do it too soon, then that's extra time that their bows have to just shoot into my very tight formations here, which isn't good for me. And if I do it too late, then of course it's not going to be effective at all. I'm dropping these extra units that have a little bit of veterancy off on the flanks. This is the strategy that I talked about before in the battle at the Kitabatake, where I want to reserve these units and let them survive the battle. And then if I need them as to help me with my victory, send them in this reserve unit, then they're going to be better than my base unit. You can see this one with just 2 ranks has an additional melee attack of 7 and 7, melee attack, melee defense, versus this 5 and 5. So it's going to fare better in combat. And I'm pretty sure that the base stat, because these are Oda Yari Ashigaro, so regular Yari Ashigaro would have 4. This has almost twice as much melee attack and melee defense as a base Yari Ashigaro. So that's going to be really useful. I'm going to plan on using my light cav to mess with their bows as soon as I've engaged all their melee units, which means that I'm going to be coming around the right flank, just because there's these forests and this hill on the left. That's going to be my plan. Alright, and I'm almost ready to go here. Just need to get my archers ready. The plan with the archers is I'm going to move forward with my army, and once their army is sufficiently in range, then I just tell my bows to halt, and I move the rest of my army up. And hopefully they won't try to take this hill up here. It's possible that they might, but because it's just barely outside of the deployment zone, I don't think that the AI is going to do that. I think they're just shuffling. They're just rearranging here, because you can see some move. Yeah, some are moving this direction. Bizarrely, they've put their spears in front of their bows. So I might even be able to drag them into a charge against me, if I'm smart. No guarantees, though. I might end up having to run and do a charge anyway. I have kind of a thinner line here, just about as thin as theirs, but that's what I have more room to ensnare them. You can see that their line here only has about 4 units in it, although they have kept some Yari Ashigaro on the flank, which is smart of them. Alright, let's fast forward through this. Oh, I forgot about that bow. I should have intercepted it. What was I thinking? Now they're way too close to the army. I should have been looking for that. Okay, I'm just going to bump it up just a little bit, enough that I can start firing on their spears that are out front here, and maybe lure them into a charge against me. They've just locked into Yari Spearwall formation, it looks like, which isn't a good move on their part, because these guys are going to get tired a lot faster, and of course, my bows are going to be able to just devastate them if they leave them that way. The AI usually is pretty smart about popping them out of Yari Spear formation as soon as my people are in range. Oh, great. They're charging with a couple units. Let's just see how this bears out. They're probably only charging because my bows are in front of my army here. So we'll see if they actually commit to this as a charge. I'm going to put these in an ungrouped formation, just because sometimes when they're in a grouped formation, they do weird things when you tell them to start moving in a different direction than they have been facing. It looks like they're going to commit. I think I was a little too late on that spear wall. Let's see if I can... these guys are broken. I don't want to go too far with these guys.
Our general is in grave danger, my lord!
Yeah, I would love to make this unit shattered so it doesn't come back, and this one too. But I am going to be fired on by their bows if I stay out front here. Okay, let's pull back. It's surprising that their bows aren't firing on me right now. Oh, well, there were some over there. Did I break them after all? Yes, I did. Okay, they're shattered. So that's good. Okay, they're within firing on me range, so I need to bring my units up. They're going to focus on my melee units, so it doesn't really matter that my bows are not in forest cover here. So let's just charge. And I do not want my generals to be getting ahead of my army here. I don't know why they're doing that. When they're in group formation, they shouldn't do that. Okay, spear wall. Because I'm about to meet some of them. This flank is doing good. I don't think I needed to be in spear wall there. Let's start wrapping. This one has taken quite a lot of hits because it's one of the units that their bows are focusing on. Okay, and spear wall, because their spears might come and attack me there. Those guys shouldn't have been spear wall. And let's bring these reserve units in over here into this opening that I've left. I need to start getting the light cav engaged here and get some rear charges off maybe. And let's just do a rear charge with that spear unit. And this one maybe can assassinate the general and catch some of those bows as well while they're at it. Okay, and I don't know where my bows are firing, but I don't want them to hit my own men, if I can help it. Alright, they're almost mopped up here, just about to be a mass rout it looks like. Slam these guys into the side and get these guys engaged. Okay, these reserve units haven't done anything yet. But that's okay. Their general's running. I would love to be able to assassinate him. Okay, turn off my bow fire, because they're only hurting me right now. And let's take these off of... okay, there's just a few that are... I'm going to try to track all the things that are retreating here. And my general should be in there. He didn't participate in the battle itself, but he already has the brave trait, so I'm not as concerned about that. That's normally why I want my generals to participate. There are other ranks of the brave trait, if you didn't know this. There's like courageous, and I forget what the third one is. I think it's actually called heroic. But they don't actually do anything for you, at least as far as I can tell in my testing. I think it was an oversight by Creative Assembly that the additional ranks were supposed to give you like stacking morale bonuses, but they don't actually do that. You only get the basic +1 that you would get with the brave trait, so it's not really worth it to focus on getting the courageous trait and the heroic trait. Alright, decisive victory. I'm pretty happy with that. I killed 1482, so they still have 128 remaining. And I didn't take any significant losses here. In fact, I might keep these people, or I don't know, I wouldn't mind merging them either. Okay, so this guy did escape. No, he's dead. Okay, great. So this army will escape a little bit, including one of their generals, which I do have to chase down. So now comes the more tough decision. Do I continue to pursue them into Suruga, kind of ignoring this Ikko Ikki threat, or hoping that they'll go after the Hattori or something, which isn't even, like, that wouldn't even be very good for me, because I want Hattori to be strong as my ally. Or do I just crush this army where it stands now and turn right back around? My worry with just leaving Suruga as is that someone else will come and nab it. I mean, the Imagawa are at war with the Hojo. And the Hojo appears to be pretty strong here. I bet you that these three are Hojo. So they could just come right back here and destroy them, which is not what we want. We want to be able to take that province without declaring war on a new clan. This has the school in it. I forget exactly what it's called. But it helps you with tech tree advancement, which would be useful for us. I mean, useful for any clan, but for us as well. So I don't want to just leave that for too long, but what I really need is a third general. I just really need somebody else. I mean, I could go there without a general. That would be fine. Oda Nobunaga, I forget. I think he pretty typically comes of age at an exact age. Like, you could time it on any campaign that you do, but I forget if that's like 16 or 18 or what. So he could be any moment now. But, you know, the other option is I don't really need a general to defend Owari. I can just send the units themselves. Yeah, let's do that. So here's the trick, though, is that I have to kind of split it in a way that's actually going to do good things on both sides. I have a number of things I have to worry about. One is Mikawa can't rebel. 2 is I have to have enough units to defend Owari. But 3, I have to have enough units to actually do something in Suruga. And I also have the question of whether or not to get rid of these rebels now as I'm going through Totomi and get the extra Koku, or leave them. And I forget exactly what armies they have. Maybe I can tell once I get a little closer. I think I should just beeline it for Suruga and take it while I can. So the light cav is not going to be as useful in a siege defense, except for maybe to distract their units with, which I don't want to underestimate its ability to do that. So maybe I will send one light cav back, the one that doesn't have any experience, any veterancy. And I have these 2 units in Mino, and am I recruiting anything currently? I'm not, but I have 319 Koku, so not a lot, and I'm only getting 471 per turn. Yeah, my income just really dropped. I think it's because these farms are damaged, but that would only be accounting for a couple hundred Koku, and of course they lost to Tomi. Maybe I should take it on my way by. Okay, let's be decisive here. I'm sending this light cav back. And let's send, these are all pretty ranked now, that's great. Let's send my unranked units back. These will heal, no. They'll heal, but they won't heal next turn because they won't be inside of a province. I would drop them in Mikawa so they can heal, but that will slow them down very slightly. And I really want them to start off in Owari. And right now, it's telling me that they can get there in 2 turns. Sometimes that's wrong, especially when it's that close, when you're cutting it that close. But yeah, I want them to be able to replenish, but they won't replenish if they're not with a general. So let's not take any let's not take any actively replenishing units. Actually, how many bows do I have? I have 1. That's it. I could do with maybe 1 more bow. But that would leave Nobuhide only 2. Okay, let's not take any bows. So it'll be this guy, that guy, and that's an obvious choice. And then I need to take a couple of veteran units as well. Yeah, let's take 150 because he's the most replenished. And let's take this guy. So that leaves Nobuhide 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spears and 3 bows and a light cav. That can do quite a lot. So that should be sufficient. I'm only really reinforcing Owari with 4 more spears, but that actually makes a huge difference. That can make an enormous difference. Are they close enough to be able to attack me this turn? They might be, if they beeline straight for Mino. I don't want to. I mean, it has a stronghold, so that means it's going to get an additional Yarishkar and a Samurai Retainer. I'm debating on whether or not I want to try to defend Mino with this small group or not. Maybe I should recruit an additional Odayari, and that might be enough to defend it against an army of this size. Not both armies, probably, but and this province will be fine as soon as these units meet up with it. So I think that'll be okay. So now I have to crush this guy, and gosh, I really do not want to use my movement to do that. But I also don't want him to leave him in this province to cause more damage. And I didn't think about this province rebelling. I can turn taxes off if I have to. Next turn this will be -5, -4, and then I could drop that down and it would be 0. It almost makes my income go negative, and if I do more recruiting, which I'm planning on it, then it might go negative. I am going to get some additional income from repairing these buildings, but that is a little scary to me. I don't know if I can't afford not to take Totomi on my way past. Okay. Is this army within a reinforcing distance from here? It is. So I can initiate the battle with my cav and not lose as much movement range. I think is how that works. I hope anyway. Yeah, it looks like it's within reinforcement range. It might run away. I don't know if it can actually, because it's already retreating. Okay, that worked out. Alright, so I really should have just hit auto-resolve, but I want to control who gets the kill on some of these units, who's going to actually get the experience here, the veterancy. And my light cav would be perfect.
Victory will soon be yours.
Would be perfect for taking out their general, and getting some ranks that way. You gain more experience for killing a general than you do like any other unit. So that's really important for controlling experience. And they're actually going to charge me here. So let's pull back a little bit so that my army can get into position. And who do I want to get the kill on the Yari Spear? Let's get this guy in. And I want the light cav to be close by so that it can take out that general before any other unit catches it.
My lord, their general has fallen.
Yeah, you see that? I don't know if you're watching the XP progress bar, but it jumped up like almost an entire level when I took out the general. And that was just one guy that I killed when it jumped up that high. Getting more experience here with this general. Making him fight more battles is good. Yep, and he ranked up. That's great. Great news. Does that mean I get a new retainer? I do. Ooh, I wonder what it is. +1 to Daimyo's honor. That's not bad at all. Loyalty or to honor. Alright, well I'll take that one. +1 to honor bonuses are good. They increase morale. I think of every unit. I believe it's clan-wide. And if I go to clan management, it might tell me more about that. Let's see here. Or maybe you have to hover over and get the tooltip. It doesn't say anything here, but I'm pretty sure that it gives pluses to... Yeah, here we go. No, that's +1 to Daimyo's honor. I'm pretty sure it gives pluses to morale bonus for your entire clan, any army. So, excuse me, high honor is good for that reason. But there's also a strange strategy that I might employ later, which will require me to have vast stores of additional honor on my daimyo, so I'm really happy with this. It's not like the Sword of Amaterasu. That would have been a great get, but I'm pretty happy with that. So I think I'm going to initiate the battle. Well, no, I want my general to be gaining this experience, so he's got to initiate it. Yeah. Alright, and I need to move my other units into reinforcing distance. They have no bows. That's really good news for me. Because that means I can just stand back and take pot shots at them with my bows. That's going to be an easy attack. And then Suruga will be right on my path. Okay. Oh, now it brings the fog, now that I don't need it. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in a different bow, backed up by some Yari on each side.
My lord, a glorious victory will soon be yours. One of our units has used all its ammunition, my lord.
Alright, the last couple of kills with my bows there. So now that I've kind of whittled them down using all of my ammunition, now I can actually attack them. I don't think that this is really a cheesy strategy. I mean, this is pretty realistic. If I brought a bunch of bows to a siege attack and you brought none, then of course I'm going to use all of my ammunition to destroy you. But this isn't quite as straightforward here to choose how to approach this, because I don't want to hurt the castle, I think. And all of my units are kind of replenishing here, so I don't want them to be hurt, climbing over these walls and getting into this melee. Okay, I need to ungroup all these things. This is causing problems. But I can pretty much go up every side of the wall. And they're not going to be able to cover all of them. And they'll die pretty quickly here. I mean, there's not that many of them left. Particularly, I'm glad that I got rid of a lot of those samurai retainers. I'm tempted to go up with my general as well, but he does only have 14 men right now, so that might not be the wisest thing in the world to do. Okay, it looks like they're all heading to this side of the castle, which is good. If I can keep them on that side, I might be able to take the Tenchu out from under them. In fact, I'm going to resist the urge to take it early, so I can get enough of these guys up the wall that they can go into a spear wall formation. Of course, these guys are going to take more losses because these guys aren't getting into battle, but actually I might be able to send one of these units in while these are still coming up. Okay, let's send this unit forward in preparation. Yeah, okay, I'm taking the Tenchu. Now, some of them might turn around because of that. No, it doesn't look like they are. They're too distracted. And if they do turn around, now they've got a spear wall to contend with. Taking some losses here that I don't like, and I'm probably going to merge those units. But they're almost done now. They're toast. Last samurai retainer. His heroic stand. Not anymore. Oh, he's still there. I bet you he's still getting kills too. Oh, nice kick. All of his pals are just sitting around watching him get his butt kicked. I guess that's the difference between a peasant and a samurai. There we go. Good job. Alright, lost 183. It's not too bad, but because they were already hurt, this just makes them that much less viable to take with me all the way to Suruga. Yeah, let's peacefully occupy. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of that loot strategy that I have in mind. Like I said before, and I think in the first video, I've done a bunch of research into traits in the game, and there are a few traits that give you bonuses to morale. One of them is the looting tree of traits. I forget exactly what it's called, but these traits you get by looting. There's a percentage chance that you will get this trait when you loot, and it gives additional bonuses to morale. Your men are happy that they get to loot stuff. The problem with gaining this trait typically is that looting drops your honor by 1, which is a pretty serious infraction. It's a pretty serious consequence for looting, because honor can be so important for morale and also the loyalty of your generals. And when you only usually want to loot places that are incredibly valuable, like Kyoto. Kyoto is a great place to loot. You might get like 10,000 koku or something like that for looting it. And also it causes problems because it damages buildings. So if you're planning on keeping a province, then looting is a terrible idea. And most of the time, when you take a place, you're planning on keeping it. So it's a trait that you probably haven't seen for those reasons. But it does give honor bonuses, and here's the thing. Sometimes it's actually really great to loot a province, particularly in the case that you don't plan on keeping it. When I get to this huge plain over here, this can be an incredible pain in the butt to defend, because you have to defend it, these really spread out fortresses from many different sides, and I might be at war with all these clans. I mean, I would be surprised if I wasn't at war with multiple clans. And even just venturing out into the field opens you up from so many different fronts. I mean, you go past Sagami, and suddenly Musashi doesn't even defend Sagami anymore. So you have to defend both of those places from all of those attackers. And what I might do instead, depending on what's happening here, is when I get to these fields, I'll just loot these provinces and head back in. That way these clans that I'm at war with have to spend their money retaking that province and rebuilding it. Meanwhile, I'm getting the koku, and I'm getting closer to that looting trait that I want, which will give me bonuses to morale. So that's generally the plan with that. Let's see how unhappy this province is right now. I have a repression of 13 that I'm adding to this province. Without taxing it, it would be at a -4, and it's going down by 1 each turn. So if I dropped 4 units behind me, and I didn't tax it, then I would be okay. But of course, it's not going to rebel this turn because I just took it. So really, I can treat it like... Oops, wrong button. I also need to level up that general. I'm aware of that. I can treat it like it's at a +6 currently, which will be a -7 as soon as I leave, which untaxed would be a -3. So, because I can ignore next turn, essentially. And the turn after that, actually, because it won't rebel until the end of my second turn. So really, I can treat it like it's at a -2, I believe. Make sure I've done that math right. So it's at a +5, take away 13 is at a -8, don't tax it, then it's at a -4, and then it's going to be at a -2 2 turns from now. So if I recruit 2 units, I can take this entire army forward and just recruit 2 additional units. Of course, I don't have any money to do that, and those are units that I can't place in Owari. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to drop 2 of my weakest units here that I would otherwise merge, and bring the rest of my army forward. And it's not going to gain much ground this turn, but in fact I'm tempted to leave it behind and just gain 1 more turn of buffer. But it could make the difference. Let me just see here. If I have the whole army selected, how long does it tell me that it'll take to get to Suruga? If I leave now, it says that I can make it at the end of next turn, which I'm not sure will be true if I don't leave now. I think it will be true, actually. Let's leave them here. Okay, 91 Koku, and Kitabatake is about to attack me at any moment. I believe I've done everything I need to do. Let's just make sure I'm not leaving anything that's going to rebel. Ah, Mikawa. I didn't deal with Mikawa. Right, I just determined that I can exempt it from tax when I have to deal with that. And let's make sure that I've moved my boats. My Bokubai here. Yeah, it looks like they've taken their turn. Alright, so there's nothing left to do but watch the Kitabatake come out. Oh, the Takeda, it looks like they expanded a little bit. And so did the Ikko Ikki, and they're retreating. Does that mean they made peace with the Hattori, or there's a greater threat, or a change of priority, or what? Well, let's find out after these messages from our Kitabatake sponsors.